Hello and welcome back to Ford and Back again. A Coxtail. Jesse Cox. It's the second time we've done this. I think you pronounce this Aziz La. I think.
Yeah, that is what they keep saying in the game, so that's what I'm going to keep saying.
Yeah. I don't want to do, as I said in the previous recording of this, that you guys will never see. I don't want to journey too far into this area. Some of the structures can kind of give stuff away, so yeah, we're gonna journey backwards and kind of go through all the zones. Okay, you're changing back to your red mage. You've seen some stuff, Jesse Cox. You've been through the ringer of Heavensward.
I have, yeah. This game, I will say that in the last couple of videos that we've done, I have said, well, I think this character's gonna live, and this character's, you know what? Now I don't trust anything.
Yeah.
I trust nothing. This game does not care whether you like a character or not. They will kill anybody. I've seen people die left. I'm like, oh my god. I don't even know if we can talk about it because it could just be general spoilers for everyone.
Well, let's put up our spoiler warning here. We'll put, I don't know. We'll give us 10 minutes of spoiling talk, and
I don't know.
That should be enough. So yeah, did you think
you left me behind?
I'm coming back.
I just watched a giant whale fly away, and I was like,
"Oh, there he is."
All right.
There. Oh God, this. Now I've gone and done it. Now I gotta open up my mouth thing. Well, before we jump to the big character death that I think a lot of people are waiting to hear you discuss,
I gotta say, which one? Which one?
True. That is, there are multiple. I mean, I think I'm not even sure which one. It's been a while since I played Heavensward. There is one big death I feel in this expansion, but we'll get to that in a second. In terms of the stuff that you've done, you fought Ravana. That was the one that last time we did a recording, I was talking about the music. Was amazing.
Someone hyped up that music to me, and it sounded like a bunch of like drunk dwarves, and I think that's the point. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was like, all right.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember if in the normal fight, does the music get a tempo change?
Yeah. Oh,
okay. Yeah.
I think it did. I seem to recall that's the case because the first part of the fight was like, whoa.
Yeah.
And then the second part was like,
yeah. Okay. Good.
You know how it be.
Yeah. That was probably one of my favorite fights in this expansion, with Ravana, the bug primal of the bug people. I thought that was cool. And then you also did.
I had to look it up because I was like, all of these are, at least the primal so far, all of them have been from other Final Fantasies, and everyone was like, Ravana's not, bro. And I was like, hold up. So I went on a deep dive because I'm a big Squeenix nerd.
Sure.
And I realized that Ravana, while not being in a Final Fantasy, is one of the bosses of, I think, Vagrant Story, ?
Really?
I think so.
Gotcha. Nerd confession, I've never actually finished Vagrant Story.
Here's the thing.
I've heard it's really good.
The ending's amazing. Like the last 2 or 3 hours are like the culmination of a fantastic mystery. It's very cool, but unplayable. The game has not aged well. I will simply say the attack and jump buttons are the same buttons. That's all you need to know.
Okay. All right.
It is not aged well at all.
Gotcha. Okay.
So if they did a remake, that'd be dope. But
yeah, maybe a remake is in order for that. So that's Ravana. Then he went on to see the whale, not this whale, but a whale, with Bismarck. What'd you think of it?
Yeah.
Bismarck was fine. I didn't really. It was fine.
I thought it was gonna be more like oh god, what is his name? Deathwing from Warcraft Cataclysm.
Sure. Okay.
Where during that raid, you literally ride on his back.
Yeah.
And you fight on his back. And I thought, oh, that's what this is going to be once you moved, because the fight moves from the island to its back. And I was like, oh. But really all it does is it then throws you back to the island. And so it was definitely a fight that I thought was going to be a lot more inspired.
Yeah.
But with that said, I saw what was going to come, like what was going to happen a mile away, and I was like, why do we still listen to Alphinaud? Every time he's like, I have a plan. I have a strategy that I think would work really well. It's like, why? Shut up, kid. You're 16.
Oof.
I can't figure out why people are listening to him.
The Alfie fans are just crying right now.
Well, the three of them are going to have to get over it.
Ooh.
Because I can't figure out why we listen to this kid.
Okay.
Every time. Literally, the minute he was like, all right, they have taken the key. They're going to Ozislav. We can't get in there. No, I'm sorry. We need the key to get in there was the plan.
Right.
He's like, we need the key to get in there. And then they're also like, but by the way, both the Empire, which has shown up, and Elf Pope want that key. And I was like, okay, so the minute we get the key from Bismarck, they're going to show up and take it from us. It's just going to happen. I know this is going to happen. And of course, Elf Pope shows up like, gotcha, bitch. And I'm like, come on, Alphinaud. So then of course, the next story point is, all right, well, we screwed up with that, but don't worry. Alfie has a plan. We're going to go and like talk to Sid, and we're going to make essentially an airship Lancer javelin and pierce the shield around Ozislav. And I was like, great. All you're doing is allowing the Empire in. And of course, that's what happens. I was like, come on. Admittedly, badass cutscene. Very cool.
That's one of my favorite. Yeah, one of my favorite cuts. If it's describe the cutscene so I don't spoil.
We pierce the veil of Ozislav, and then the Empire's brand new warship shows up like, what up? It comes up out of the fog, and it's like, oh, we've been waiting the whole time. And then shit goes down, and you are saved by an unexpected duo.
That's the name I'm worried about saying. Say the unexpected duo so I don't spoil you.
The unexpected duo is Iceheart or Isail.
Yeah.
And
yes.
Grace Vulgar, the dragon who shows up, and I don't know what he did.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
He like came in and was like, I'm here to save you, and then
badass cutscene though. Yeah, that cutscene was incredible. I remember watching that, playing through Heavensward when it first got announced. Hell of a thing, that cutscene.
Yeah, I liked what they did with her character. I thought it was interesting what they did with oh god, what is his name? I keep calling him Einstein.
Estinian.
Estinian, yeah.
Yeah.
I was convinced the longest time. I was like, oh, these two getting together. The guy who wants to kill dragons, the lady who wants to save dragons. I was like, they smooching. But really, at the end, he was like, I respect her. I was like, all right, that's fine, I suppose. But now I'm terrified for that boy because his whole thing is like, well, one of the major plot points that we saw was that the dragons, their eyes are like a big thing. And so the first dragon had its eyes. I don't remember all the names, but the first major dragon in the story,
Tiamat,
the sister question mark.
Was that Tiamat?
What now?
Tiamat or
no, it was like something like for faster. I don't know what it was.
All right, go ahead.
But the sister, like the old school sister, had her eyes eaten by the first. I don't want to say the first elves, but like the 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Elves, and then that's why they all have that like dragon power. And then, oh my god, my brain just died. The second set of eyes. The second set of eyes were the ones that were taken from Nidhogg.
Right.
But Nidhogg had an eye, and then in a cutscene I noticed that Hraesvelgr didn't have an eye, and I was like, oh, something's amiss. And then it was revealed that the eye was his, and he gave it to his brother who lost both his eyes.
Correct.
Which then brings me to my number one concern. We've only seen one of the two eyes. So there's a missing second eye that I have no idea where it's at. I think that's the most interesting part of the story right now. Because I'm like, that must be important. Sure. And I keep thinking that every time Einstein's like, I'll use this eye for a thing, he keeps saying stuff like, the eye tries to control me, but I am in charge. And I'm like, oh no, this will end badly. So I'm waiting for him to turn into like a dragon possessed murder machine. I don't know what's gonna happen. Yeah, because I did the Dragoon storyline, and in that guy is like a dickhead who explodes.
Yeah, he's kind of in that
I don't know if people have done that storyline.
That's a rough storyline.
But I did it after I started Heavensward, and literally at the end of it, when you hit 50, the final mission is he shows up and he's like, I'm gonna become a Super Saiyan with dragon powers, and then explodes and then vanishes. And I was like, wait a minute. So he just lived and we're never going to address this? Someone said if you're a Dragoon before you get to him for the first time, there's something mentioned about it. But I was like, it doesn't. They literally were just like, yeah, no, he's a main character. Like, wait, what?
Yeah.
It's very weird. I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
sure.
we're getting into the weeds with that. It's been a long time since I've seen that information, but
it's so funny. He just like he's like goes Super Saiyan, and then you stop him and he explodes.
It's true.
And that's it. And you're like, oh, all right then. But I did that, and then I loved the vault dungeon. Was incredible. The ending was like,
before we get to the ending, how'd you like let's go back a little bit to some of the other dungeons. The Airy,
sure.
the dragon dungeon. What'd you think of the Airy?
I thought that was neat. I loved I think all the 3 dungeons I've done so far have been great in that they each have given me something different and that I've wanted.
Yeah.
And weren't just like, I'm running this thing because it's on my checklist of shit I have to do.
What do you mean?
Like,
it's something that you wanted. What can you expand on that?
Yeah. So in the Airy, that one was like, we're going to get the answers to the eye question that I had for a while. I was like, wait, how does he have an eye if they took both his eyes? Right? Like it did that. It gave me a whole ending to that, and I loved that. And it gave me the whole, we have to work with Sid to make a little mini airship.
Sure.
It was just a great story moment. And then the library, what I loved about the library wasn't the dungeon. It was like the lore within it, the little books you would find. I didn't know how much I cared about the inner workings of the naming system of the Empire until I started reading the books there. And I was like,
I didn't even know you could read the books there, but I get it.
If you read the books, several of the books tell the story of the one manor dungeon.
Okay.
Which is super fun. So it tells that, I think it's like level 24, 28, something like that. That dungeon, it tells you the backstory, which I think is very cute. And then another series of books tells you literally the naming scheme of Imperials. And I was so happy. I was like, oh, I get why some of them are named like Gorgon von Splorgen or Jimmy Air Vushu, whatever. I don't know. Terrible names. But I guess each of those is a signifier of rank or social status. And I thought that was pretty neat. Stuff like that. I was like, oh, this is wonderful. And then the vault was like,
let's talk about the vault.
Yeah, it was hype as shit the entire time. I was like ready to throw down. I was ready to attack and dethrone God the entire time. I was like, let's do this. And the ending, I was not only not prepared for, but at the time I was like, man, that sucks. That's terrible. But then the game keeps hammering it home.
Yeah, they don't let you
forget. I was like, my heart.
Well, it's like even more fucked up after you like go talk to his dad.
Yeah. Oh, the dad scene was sad.
It's real sad.
I don't remember. Maybe it was Tataru. Someone said a thing. I think it's probably clipped on Twitch. Yeah. Someone said a thing where they were like, he was the only guy who believed in us after the end of A Realm Reborn. Like he was the only person there for us.
Yeah, he was the bro.
And I was like, oh yeah, I totally forgot. Like I didn't trust that dude for the longest time. Yeah. I was like, I don't know.
He's the guy that you talk to, or he's in the room, I think, to provide like shelter once you get kicked out of Old. He's the guy that you're. Yeah. He's like there for you. Yeah.
And I remembered, I was like, oh my God, he's the one who brought hot chocolate to us. And I was like, no, I totally forgot that scene. And now I still can see it where he like sets the cocoa down on the table.
Sure.
And he's like, look, you can do this. And Tataro's like, yeah, we can. I was like, oh, heart. Yeah. So I asked chat if we get his shield.
Mm-hmm.
And the dad gave me the shield, but I'm like, do I get it that I can use it on my gladiator question mark?
Mm.
And I think the answer I got was you get two versions. The damaged version you can hang in your house, and then you can use one with your, I guess, like as a skin for a shield or something.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I want the damaged one for a shield. I want to wield his damaged shield
Sure.
forever.
Yeah. That scene is. I feel like that scene's one of the more remarkable and probably one of the most talked about moments in, I think, Final Fantasy 14 as a whole, because they don't really have death flags for it. It just kind of happens. It
Yeah,
never it is very much a story of the time, because I think around that time, like, I want to say Game of Thrones had just gotten pretty popular, and so like that idea of storytelling.
This expansion is 1000% Game of Thrones.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
You can tell. I think someone when I was streaming mentioned that Yoshi P was like, "Yep, I love Game of Thrones."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean,
It's still. I mean, there are still not daily. There are still tons of memes in the Final Fantasy 14 community, or around the different communities that I visit around Horsefond that are all 10 out of 10. He was a great character,
Yeah.
and I think his death was we're totally past the 10-minute spoiler mark, but that's fine. His death was very memorable and very well done. And drives the story home in a lot of ways.
It definitely came out of nowhere, and it was a character that had his time to shine in ways that I think Moonbrinda, was that her name?
Yeah. Oh yeah, she just gets offed out of nowhere.
She had no time to grow. Her character, for me, as far as I could tell, was she showed up, introduced the concept, hit on what's his face? I can't remember his name right now. Oh God, what is that dude's name? Urianger.
Yeah,
hit on him a while. I guess they had a relationship.
Yeah.
And then I guess it sparks what happens for him at the end of A Realm Reborn. Maybe, I have no clue. I don't know. But
yeah.
I there's a lot that I think they did very, very well with the initial start of setting up the way he helps you with this, and then it leads to the end of that dungeon. I thought that was neat.
Yeah.
I was really impressed by that. I think you're also right. When it comes to Iceheart, she straight up like telegraphs, I'm going to sacrifice myself for you. So you're like, okay.
That's true.
Also, I couldn't help but laugh that it was like, I don't know how she thought she was going to take on a warship when she's lost every time she's summoned Shiva. I was like, every time she's tried this, she's failed.
Though. I mean, it was a pretty fucking badass cutscene.
It was neat. You're right. She became a giant torpedo of ice. That was cool as shit.
For sure. So let's talk future story stuff. Let's get some predictions. Probably by the time we do another episode, I think you'll be in the post Heavensward content for sure.
Sure.
With how fast. I honestly was surprised. If you want to run towards the zone out here, we can go to the next one and fly around. I was honestly surprised at how fast you've been cruising through Heavensward. So some predictions. What happens? Where's the story going? How do you think they wrap up?
Well, before we get to that, let me just tell you real quick.
Okay.
Where's that girl at? Where's that little pain in the ass at?
I don't know. I'm trying to think.
I think everyone knows what I'm talking about.
Where are we going?
This one over here.
Where are we going?
Chloe.
Oh, you've been doing
Chloe's wondrous trials. Let me just tell you.
You've been doing a little bit of
or wondrous tales, whatever it's called. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. The old tales. Having some bad luck.
I did all of them. I got one line. I felt great about it, but another thing they added to the game that's like, I get why it exists.
Sure.
And it's not bad. I think it's actually very, very smart to give you another way of leveling the many, many things you can level.
Yeah.
Right, because it gives you an excuse to go do things. But it is another one of those like excuses to go not do the main story. So it took me way off track.
There's a ton of distractions.
Yeah, so I did that immediately. I was like, all right, we'll do this.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna get even worse once you finish up Heavensward. Like the game, they started adding just like so much content to the game, and it only gets worse. It gets worse, but also better, right? So
I'm currently putting the time and effort into getting my Grand Company squadron up. They're all level 40 right now.
Oh man, okay, you're in deep. They've got you.
Yeah, my
hook, line, and sinker.
My retainers are 42, I think.
Okay.
I have, and specifically because I'm trying to do stuff for my retainers. I think I mentioned this before. I now have a level 50 Dragoon, and
oh my god, look at that AF armor. Wait, type/visor.
Oh, you mean this?
Oh my god, it's him.
And I'm also leveling a gladiator now. I have a 28 gladiator.
Nice.
So that I can make one of my retainers a gladiator.
How do you like tanking?
You know, here's the thing. Gladiator Paladin, as far as I can tell, is very easy.
Sure. It's
tanking
streamlined.
is difficult. Yeah, tanking is difficult because it's all about right now at 28 it's not difficult, but the concept is difficult because eventually you have to know positioning. At least I think that's how it works.
Yeah.
Because that's how it works in most MMOs is you have to pull a boss to a certain place.
Gotta know the strats.
You have to face a boss a certain way. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it really is all on you to like keep AoEs or area attacks or like directional attacks away from your group. And so that's, it's just about learning fights later. But right now, it's super easy. And I'm trying to figure out how much people want me to pull because some groups are like, you're pulling too many.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And some groups are like, pull the dungeon. I'm like, okay, all right.
Pop all your cooldowns in succession. Yeah.
But yeah.
Once you get flash, it's pretty simple. In terms of AoE, you just kind of spam flash. You're good.
Oh yeah. The crazy thing is that as far as I can tell, right now I have only 3 attack abilities.
Yeah. That sounds
maybe
right.
Technically four. Everything else, I have 3 stuns, 1 rampart, which is basically shield wall.
Yep.
And a shield throw.
Yep.
And that's it. I have a buff, and I have 2 buffs.
So my first experience with tanking of any sorts in the game started at 60, and then
Oh, did you pick a dark whatever?
No. I actually started with warrior. And then played Paladin and Dark Knight's the only one that Dark Knight and Gunbreaker are the only ones I haven't dabbled in.
Everyone seems to say that Dark Knight's dope, which I think is probably true. I watch a lot of people play it when they tank.
Yeah.
It looks neat.
Yeah. They've definitely got, the big badass 2-handed swords, right? Like if that's your jam, if you want to be Cloud or some fucking anime weeb, definitely go that route.
I unlocked Gunbreaker to think, just to see what it would be like, but when I did so, roughly 1,000 buttons unlocked on my screen, and I became so overwhelmed. I was like, well, I'm good. So I haven't touched it once.
Yeah, they definitely, when you get those classes that start at, like 50 or 60 or whatever, it can be a little overwhelming, especially for new players. I think that's one of the nice things about starting at level 1 with all that stuff is they give you the ability so, this ability leads into this ability. Then you get a new ability that, goes into that ability, that type of stuff. When you get them all at once, it could be a lot.
I can't imagine. Red Mage was very smart in that when I got it. It's
simple.
Yeah, it was all pretty straightforward and things made sense and it was easy to pick up. But Gunblade, man, there were so many abilities. I was like, I don't know where to start. I'm going to have to literally go look up a thing on the internet and try to figure it out. So I was like, I'll wait. I haven't touched it since.
Have you dabbled in Ninja at all?
No, I've unlocked everything, but I don't think I can get Ninja.
Probably starts off as Rogue or Thief.
Yeah, then I have Rogue. I have that.
Yeah.
The
Ninja
only things
gets
I
crazy,
don't have. Yeah, the only things I don't. I heard that it is. There's like a rhythm to it, and if you mess up the rhythm, you like lose a lot of damage.
Somewhat, yeah. Ninja's probably the one class that I have, at least DPS wise and rotation wise, that I have the most experience with, and I'm by no means like talented at it whatsoever.
Sure.
But it's very much like, I think a lot of classes are like Summoner, for example, as well at max level. It's like a 2 minute long rotation, and if you miss like one or two of those beats, it kind of screws the whole thing up in terms of having a constant, uh, maximum burst or maximum DPS, as it were. But a lot of that
Yeah.
stuff really doesn't truly matter unless you're doing the hardest of hard raids. So I wouldn't get too in the weeds on that stuff unless you really plan to start like savage raiding, and then you'll learn,
I
right? Like you'll
most
have to
certainly
learn.
do not.
Yeah, you don't really
Yeah, I'm
have
not too
to.
concerned.
99% of the players in the game, maybe that's a little bit harsh, but a lot of players in the games don't ever have to like deal with that whatsoever if they
No,
don't
but I
want
think
to.
you're right. I think that's for every MMO. The
Sure.
vast majority of players are not the people who are hardcore anything.
Yeah.
That's just a fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, let's talk about end of Heavensward. What do you think happens? Where do you think you're going? What do you think is the big final fight? What do you think are some of the storylines that get wrapped up? Maybe start to
Sure.
unfold. Where are we going?
This is one of those things that after playing A Realm Reborn, I don't know that I'll truly be able to give you a good call, because A Realm Reborn ended one way, and then 3 patches later, it ended a totally different way.
Sure.
It was like it ended with you defeating the Empire, which was like, oh, that's the end of this thing. And then it was like, and now we're making the Crystal Braves, and we have a whole other story, and there's this Ilberd guy. Like, that whole plot line was after the main story, and then it took me 4 days just to get through all of that. So my assumption for the immediate future is that we'll do this Aussie Slaw thing.
Yeah.
I know they mentioned the I don't know if it's the same thing, but they mentioned what I assume are the 3 gods from Final Fantasy VI.
The
not sure
Warring
what they,
Triad.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure if we're on a floating island, pretty sure that's what that is a reference to. And I don't know how that's gonna play a role. I don't know if they're gonna Kefka the thing and be like, we're moving them out of alignment. I don't know if they're gonna, I don't know. I have no idea what's about to happen with that, but I can assume that we will at some point what I would love is, because I know they mentioned the Empire is attacking one part of Aussie Slaw, because I guess a computer terminal was like, shit's going down over there. And
Johnny Five came out and said like, hey, you need to help us.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
And then another part is controlled and blocked off by Elf Pope and his goons.
Sure.
So my assumption is at some point we fight, because they've literally hinted at it, that he's got a round table's worth of knights. And I've played Final Fantasy before, so I assume there's a Knights of the Round battle coming, or a summon or some type of reference. My initial thought was there was a plot line about how every one of the elves, I think the dragons, one of the dragons, maybe Nidhogg, someone mentioned that a lot of the dragons that are attacking Ishgard are former elves, I think was the reveal. I could be wrong. I'm sure someone in the comments will let me know. But I think that's what the reveal was, is that because they have the dragon blood in them, because they ate the eyes, it's like in their genes forever, that they can like, they can be morphed into dragons, and that's, Ishgardians were killing their kin essentially. And that at the same token, the idea of Iceheart Isael turning into Shiva, she wasn't actually becoming Shiva. She was just becoming what she envisioned Shiva as,
sure.
Which I guess is kind of the reveal of the primals, and that the primals are not the gods themselves. The primals are just kind of like what the people summoning them imagine them to be. And so that she envisioned Shiva and created this Shiva character. And the same way that the knights, when they morph into their like super knight form, they are becoming like the knight versions they want. And so I was like, oh, is that because they got the blood in them? I think that was hinted at. So I originally thought, oh, well, sure. What is his name? Amaric. I was like, oh, this dude. I was like, this guy about to show up and become a super knight and battle these other knights. But he's like, I'm going to stay here for a while. I was like, oh, all right. So I don't know if that's going to happen. But I was convinced, oh, any one of the Ishgardians can become like a knight of the round, right? I thought that was like one of the 12 original knights because it's all in their bloodline, be it, lowborn or highborn. Everyone is related to one of those original 12 knights. And so I was like, oh, so they all can be like a super knight. I don't know. So I imagine we'll go fight them at some point. And then I assume we'll fight Elf Pope, but Elf Pope could get it either from the Empire or the Ascians because he thinks he's trying to use them, but they are obviously using him too. So we'll see what happens there. But he ain't making it out alive. That dude's super dead. And then the Ascian storyline with Urianger, I don't know where the hell that's going. I don't know why he is involved with them. It is yet to be revealed even what's been mentioned. So I know that's in the background.
Sure.
And Ilberd's storyline, that dude left the dungeon, and I think we've handled most of the Crystal Braves, and we saved Rahoban, so I know that he's like, that's going to be a thing that'll happen in the future. Literally, Ishtola just showed up. And so I imagine, because she's back, well, I don't think it's going to happen between now and the end of 3.0. I would imagine that post beating up Elf Pope will attempt to find the others, ? Because if we found one, I imagine we'll find the others. Although now I'm very worried for all their safety because this game don't care about killing nobody. Sure. This game is like, sure. So I'm very worried that we won't save any of them, really. Who knows? But I think that's what's going to happen. And then I imagine the Empire will play a role because I don't think they just straight up introduce Varys. Is that his name? Varys? I don't think they just introduce him as like the super big bad who like almost one-shot us if he was just gonna like get beat by some robots on Azisla. So I imagine he'll play a role in something. And yeah, I could not begin to tell you where these, I imagine 3.1 to 3.
Oh, Jesse Cox.
Whatever. Couldn't even tell you where the plot of that would go. Couldn't even tell you.
Okay.
Have not a clue.
Sure. Well, that's good. I'm not going to say anything otherwise. I think you've got the surprises are the best part of this game, and I think it's one thing to play through this game and like play patch to patch and have to wait so that you know ahead of time in terms of what what Square Enix is out there saying is going to be coming up, or you can kind of like see what's going to come up. I think it's another thing to do it as you're doing it, where you're just going through it all at once. And so the less that you have of what's coming up and different things like that, the better, for sure. So we'll leave it at that. I will say that this thing in front of us, Jesse Cox.
I was wondering about this because it has not played a role at all, period.
I will not say how or why. I will simply say that the name of this show lies within.
Okay, interesting. I don't know what that means.
I'm very excited.
I know that this had to do with Matoya and Louis Swa because she mentioned something about this when we did Matoya's quest. Also, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Actually, you're not going to answer this,
okay.
But
I won't
when I did all the broom quests for Matoya,
great quest.
Matoya's brooms and the frog.
Love Matoya.
The frog at the end was like, Master Matoya, I just want to serve you. Tell me what I can do. And she was like, look, fine. When I die, do a bunch of shit for me. And he's like, okay. And then hilariously just waited there, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "I'm waiting for you to die." And she's like, "Oh my god!" I thought it was very cute. But I am convinced now that I know that Stola is the apprentice of her, that they would not, scripting, they would not have said this whole I'm old and I'm going to die thing, unless I assume by the end of this expansion, Ishtola will, I assume, take over her role, whatever her role is, old lady witch. I don't know. But it seems very obvious to me that's what the setup was, because she was basically hinting that the thing she hates the most and loves the most was Ishtola, and that she was like ready to pass on her shit to her.
Sure.
I think that's what is going to happen with that character. Question mark? I think.
Okay.
And I had another epiphany. I'm trying to remember what it was, but it had to do with something. I can't remember.
Was it character based?
When I was going through the quest chain where they were like, again. I was going through the quest chain with, I think I mentioned this once before. I'm not sure when this was, but I was going through the quest chain with Sid, and Sid is Sid and Einstein and the whole crew. We were trying to figure out how to pierce the dome around Azisla, and they were like, well, we need one of our white nethicite. I don't remember what they call it. The crystals.
Nethicite is correct, I think.
They're like, we need one of those, but we also need similar to summoning. No, maybe it was when we were fighting Bismarck. I can't remember what the plot point was, but whatever it was, they were complaining about how they don't have enough crystal. Like, there's never enough crystal to do what needs to get done. And I was like, why are you so dumb? There is always enough crystal. Literally in Mordona, there is a giant crystal palace. Why do you never use that to do anything? It blows my mind. I'm like, knock on that damn door, be like, cat boy, get your ass up. We got shit to do. No one in this game thinks about that. It's so frustrating. It boggles my mind, JP. It frustrates me to know it's literally right there, and no one does anything. It infuriates me. I want to shake Alphinaud and be like, why do we listen to you? You make this so much harder than it needs to be.
Jesse Cox. One more prediction I'd love to get out of you. Where are we going with the next expansion?
I actually, I don't know how I know this.
Okay.
I think I may have seen the trailer for the next expansion at some point. Yeah, I think I might have seen it. I don't know that I understood any of it, but I think now that I play, I kind of get the idea that based on Samurai and something else, that I imagine we're going. Originally, I was like, oh, there's definitely a Japanese themed area in this game, and I've yet to see it. So when they mentioned Doma, I think is the name of it. Originally, I thought it was Alamigo, but I guess based on what I've seen so far in the game, that's not the case. But I assume we're going to Doma because that's where Yugiri's from, and I imagine that's where the samurai story is, ? And so, yeah, I seem to recall that in the trailer for, I think it's Stormblood, literally there was a scene with like a samurai cutting bullets. I vividly remember that because it was dope as hell. But yeah, I remember that. I don't know. I seem to recall being very confused because I didn't follow when I saw it. Obviously, I didn't follow Final Fantasy XIV at all. But I recall 2 monks fighting, and then a samurai, and then a cool looking Japanese village thing, and that's all I recall. But I imagine that is Doma, so I imagine that's where we're going. Could I tell you how we get from here to there? Not a clue. couldn't even guess how that happens.
Okay,
but I don't know. I don't know the plot of what that would be either. I can't I don't remember why Yugiri, like they fled, right? They fled. Was it because the Empire was attacking them? I imagine a lot of it is Imperially related, right? I don't know.
Okay.
We'll see, but I feel
I'll
like
leave you
I
to
definitely
to your questions unanswered.
yeah.
I don't want
I
to
definitely know that based on like context clues, I definitely know that's that. Based on the title screen and really not knowing anything else, I have no effing clue what Shadowbringers is about. Couldn't even tell you. Like I don't know. I assume it's so far out that there's no story points that I've seen so far that relate to it because I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's because I haven't played Dark Knight or whatever it is, but like I don't I don't know. I keep looking at every time I load in the game, I see that intro, and I'm like, what the shit could this possibly be about?
No comments.
Or not intro, but you know what I mean. The like title screen where it's like
no comments.
Weird. I
will say this about Shadowbringers. I have reluctantly not been able to catch all of your Heavensward streams. When you start getting close to Shadowbringers, I will not miss a stream, and I will most likely force myself into all of the dungeons that you do as a party member, just to be there and see those reactions. I am much like I think a lot of people that have joined in on your quest for Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers and to finish the story up. We are all very, very excited for you to get through there. But you've got a long ways. You still got so much to get to.
Let me just tell you how confusing it all is, because things I do know about Shadowbringers is that y'all were talking about doing a near raid. Yeah. And I'm like, how does that fit into this game? I literally can't put two and two together there. Yeah. I don't know how or why. When I didn't play Final Fantasy, my assumption was like, it's just like crossover events, like in Final Fantasy 15 where they did the Assassin's Creed thing. Sure. It made no sense, but was like fun. Yeah. And then I saw a Yokai Watch event in this and was like, all right, so they definitely do crossovers, but I don't know how you justify a full raid as a like I don't know what it means, and it's really blowing my mind.
Have you been told what the next expansion's raid is? The Alliance raid, the 24-man raid? Do you know what that is?
I do not have a clue. No.
Okay, I won't tell you then. I'd rather that be a surprise as well. But yeah, like
I have no idea.
All of the raids in this game, 24-man, 8-man, trials, all that stuff, it is tied into the story. It makes sense. It's relevant to the story. And I would say that for the near raid of stuff, like it's its own story. It makes sense.
Damn. I'm all right. I mean,
for Yoko Taro's out there said like it is a extension of the Nier story. If you've played Nier Automata, it makes sense.
And I think I saw an interview or something with him saying something like that, which is why it makes no sense to me, because I know Yoko Taro wouldn't do something unless he could do it like, weird and strange, but also meta as hell.
Taro.
Yeah, so it clearly serves a purpose, but I don't. That's why, like I said, I couldn't tell you based on the limited information I have. None of it makes sense to me.
Do you know what the raid is of this expansion?
No.
Man, good on your round of applause to your stream chat and for viewers for just not like spoiling that stuff. That's awesome.
Yeah, I didn't even think about a raid for this one. You're right. I imagine it will be like Bahamut or the Crystal Tower. I have no clue what it could possibly be. I didn't even think about that. Now you got me thinking. My chat is being great. They're all policing themselves. And if I get to a point in the story where I'm possibly afraid that someone will say something, I just hide it behind my game screen. So I don't see anything.
Smart.
So I don't, there's times where I don't even see chat. But no one has said anything that's like a blatant spoil. So thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, huge round of applause for all that. You jumped into any more crafting? I know last time you were dabbling in some fishing. Have you gone ocean fishing? Have you gone into the Ishgardian rebuilding process
I
thing?
am not at the rebuilding stuff yet. I think I have to. I saw the area, but
Yeah.
I haven't done any of that yet because
You might
I
have to
don't know
finish
the
Heavensward. I don't know how that works, honestly.
Yeah, I have no idea, but I see people running through there all the time.
Oh man, it's fucking
I
booming right now. It's
have.
so busy. There's so many people.
What is my? The only thing I actually have that's leveled with some degree is I have a 55 goldsmith, which probably I don't know if that was the smartest thing to do because
Yeah.
it's so expensive to run a goldsmith.
You gotta do
I'm
them
like,
all.
oh my god.
Yeah, you definitely did. If you spend a lot of money on that, I mean, you probably didn't get that money yourself to begin with, so it's not really the biggest loss. But
I had a sizable loan, but I made it all myself.
okay, all right, yeah,
No, yeah, I don't. I'm not trying to spend money, but a lot of the things I'm doing are just all right. If you want to complete this quest for your goldsmithing, you must create like the special version or like
the
high quality version.
yeah,
And so you're just like blowing through materials.
yeah, trying to get that craft.
Yeah, it sucks. Like, all right.
Gear definitely helps a lot with that as well. But it's cool that you're getting into the crafting in some aspects of it.
Yeah, I'm trying to, but
it's definitely different
you know,
than other MMOs. As someone who recently just got into it after, I don't know, 7+ years of playing, I've got all the crafters at level 20, and I'm starting to push through the Ishgardian restoration effort. So that's cool. Is that Blue Mage? Are you a Blue Mage?
I do have Blue Mage.
Did Octo put you up to this?
Octo did not put me up to this. I got it because I stumbled on the quest on accident, and I just finished it, and I haven't really done anything with it. But I heard it only goes up to 50 or 60 or something.
I think it's 60 now. Honestly, I haven't messed with Blue Mage at all, but it's an odd class, is what it is.
it looks super interesting. Everyone tells me Octo is like the master of it, which I think is very, very funny.
Yeah, he loves Blue Mage. He considered the Blue Mage, or he considers his Blue Mage his main job, even though you can't actually do that. So
yeah, even though he can't be of any use.
Yeah. So well, cool. I think that'll do it. What I guess since we haven't seen you in 3 zones, comparing Heavensward to the base game, is it as big as a change as everyone said it was going to be? Where do you feel about like production values, cutscenes, just like the money that went into it? Seems like a lot bigger, better. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's more focused. Like it's a more focused story. The biggest thing about A Realm Reborn for me is the back and forth between the what aren't a lot of zones but felt like a lot of zones.
Sure.
And so you would go back and forth between, you know,
forward and
all
back.
these different areas.
Forward and back. Stay on brand.
What now?
It's forward and back, not back and forward. You gotta stay on
right.
brand.
You're right. I'm a fool. But there was so much that it just seemed like it was a little overwhelming.
Yeah.
And this, everything is concise and has a point, and you know looks a little bit. I don't want to say polished because I feel like we're dealing with PlayStation level stuff.
Sure.
Right. You can definitely tell that
improves,
there's yeah. You can definitely tell that some of the textures are kind of older looking. And so it definitely has an aged vibe to it, but the story and the way they're telling it, it's something that, you know, as you probably guessed, that I blew through because I was interested in.
Yeah.
And I wasn't getting caught up in a bunch of other BS where, you know, if you were playing the original Realm Reborn, there's so much different stuff to do. Not just the story of your town, but the story of like the scions, and then all this, like your class, and then all this other stuff. Because it's only 10 levels you're dealing with, I thought I like the focus of what they're doing and the storytelling of what they're doing. So I imagine if it stays this way, you know, the next expansion will be the same, the expansion after that will be the same, and it'll sort of just be singular fun stories.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm enjoying myself, so that's all I can ask.
It's good. It's good. I'm very excited for the future of what you're about to get into. One of the fights is top 3 favorite fights in the entire game for me to this day. The music is You said someone overhyped the music, so I'm not going to overhype the music, but it's for my interest, my top
Well,
four,
so far
top
there's
five
been.
songs.
I mean,
It's
some of the
fantastic.
music is amazing,
Yeah.
but some of it I'm just like.
Do you like the jazz of the Google of the library?
Can I tell you? I loved it.
Yeah, I figured.
It
I was
so,
like, this is a Jesse Cox tune. He probably liked that.
It came out of nowhere. I was like, what is this crazy ass? Like, it has 8 different melodies.
Yeah.
I was like, this is great. This is so weird. I love this. Yeah, that was fantastic.
Yeah, you've the epic music is coming. Is I guess what I'll say. Like they're gonna roll out the red carpet, and they do some phenomenal fucking songs. Like, in my opinion, like award-winning fucking crazy bullshit.
Cool.
I listen to it still daily for me. I said I wasn't gonna overhype it, and then I overhyped it. So
yeah,
hopefully you get to it.
You said it was award-winning, so
Well, I said it should be worthy. I don't know if it actually won any awards. I think the Heavensward.
It won your heart, and that's the greatest reward of all.
I think the Heavensward theme, which you've heard multiple times, did win awards. Now that I think about it.
Have I heard it multiple times?
Yeah, like the general in the cutscene that plays and like the opening of the game, that song, when like the
like very sad song.
Yeah. Is that Answers? No, Answers is something else you haven't seen yet. I forget the name. Of the song.
I don't know. Is it this? Is Answers the one that plays when you fight? Is it Bahamut or one of the Bahamut things?
I forget. That might be right. Now I'm second guessing myself.
I feel like there's a song that is supposed to, maybe I'm wrong. One of the songs that's sad, I feel like is supposed to be like we're sung by Heidelin, I think is the point, maybe. Is like what the tone of the song's supposed to be, I think.
So I'm thinking of Dragon Song, which is the song that Umatsu composed. He was the main expansion theme of Heavensward. And then Soken, who is, you'll come to learn, the musical god of Final Fantasy XIV and all things video games, uses it multiple times throughout the points of the story and stuff. You've definitely heard like different riffs on it as well. But
yeah, I'm sure I have. They keep using the same melodies and the same sort of like, my brain just died. I can't remember the leitmotifs of different moments and characters throughout the thing. So
yeah, I'm trying to see if it actually did win any awards, but I'm not sure. Maybe I'll have that for next one, for next episode. But
it's a big list of rewards.
Yeah, of all
I can't figure out
all the things.
How this thing stays together.
How Final Fantasy stays together?
No, this whale. Either these lanterns and this table is drilled into the back of this whale, or none of this makes sense.
You want to know how
magic
it stays
holding
together?
it together? It doesn't. I don't know how any of this stays there.
It stays together by the swipe of a credit card. All right.
I was about to say, you're telling me that these bottles wouldn't immediately fall over as we breeze through the air.
They've taken money, and in Final Fantasy, all of the gil, if you rub it hard enough, there's so much glue stuck on it for some reason that it can hold things together, and so there's just
that's
money.
what I've heard. Money can do anything.
It really can. It really can. If you put it to the test, money can and will do everything.
That's what I hear.
Yeah. Let me know. Well, I guess I'll just keep an eye on it because I don't want to say what I was going to say. I'll keep an eye on your streams. When you get to a point, I will definitely give you a call and say, hey, I need to get in the group.
Okay.
And I won't say why, but I'll join the group and then we'll just go through some stuff.
All right. Sounds good.
It'll be good. So, Jesse Cox, thanks for joining us for another episode.
My pleasure.
Have fun in Eorzea and the rest of the Final Fantasy XIV world. If you guys aren't already following Jesse's Twitch, he streams. I don't know. Are you doing like 3 a week, 4 a week, as much as you can? What's your schedule?
As much as I can. Okay. Just trying to push through it. You know.
True. That's the grind. Twitch.tv/Jesse Cox. No space. All one word. Check it out. He'll probably be going live after this, I would assume.
Maybe.
Well, we're recording this on Monday evening. This won't go out till Tuesday. So if you missed the stream, you missed the stream, but you can go watch the VODs.
You missed it.
Yeah. Anyways, that'll do it for Forward and Back again at Coxtail. Thank you so much. We hope to see you for the next episode, where I'm sure it's going to be a doozy, because Jesse's getting to some fun stuff coming up. So,
oh, yeah.
Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.